Had a little idea the other day to come up with kind of a off-meta build. If you've been following me for a while, you know in Diablo 3, that was one of my things. I like to make little off-meta builds, stuff that was a little fun, kind of out of the ordinary. Well, this is one of them. Kind of had an idea. Maybe we should make kind of a Storm Bear, if you will, that doesn't use any uniques. Let's check it out. How about it, y'all? You got Hawg. I'm your Southern Diablo 4 resource. Thanks for stopping by. So you had a Storm Bear. Couple ideas for it. No uniques, no ultimate skills. So one of the downside to using Grizzly Rage, yes, there is a downside, is if you don't have your cooldown properly stacked up, you kind of be standing there for about 25, 30 seconds, like old John Travolta meme, like, what do I do? So I guess what I'm trying to get at is your damage comes in bursts. So I wanted to level that out and add some flair to it. So let me show you the little play in action. We got Helltide going on, and then I'll show you some footage of it. There's a couple variations you can do with it, but again, just a fun build. It's not meant to push high nightmares. I think I've done a 42 with it. 44 is my max, maybe 47 depending on the affixes on there. I am a level 94, but again, just a fun farm build, having fun, experiencing the game, wanting to try other things. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, let's get off this slow horse. Now, it revolves around a couple things, okay? Nature's Fury. So we always want to be casting a storm skill. You see right here, bonus damage if the next skill cast is an earth skill. So we want to do that, and it's going to ramp our damage up. We got two main sources of damage that we deal. One is pulverized, the other is trample. As you see, we got lightning that comes down. And every time that we deal, right before we deal damage, we hit in Storm Strike. Storm Strike, pulverize. Storm Strike, pulverize. Storm Strike, pulverize. Okay? Storm Strike, pulverize. Storm Strike, trample. Now that lightning coming down is proccing from the Nature Fury key passive. It's also giving us stacks on armor. We'll trample through them, then delete them. Storm Strike, pulverize, Storm Strike, pulverize. Now the reason we're alternating is it's giving us triple damage every time we cast Storm Strike. Or vice versa. So if we were to cast Earth, you see here, bonus damage if we cast Storm, so we can actually hit them with Storm, it does more. Come right up to them. There's our proc. See, it does pretty good damage. You see the numbers. It's not a speed build at all. You do have two sources of unstoppable in Earthen Bulwark. And see, we just depleted half of our cooldown because we procced a Nature's Fury key passive. It's back up. Sit here and cast. See, we went from 12 to 6 seconds. Earthen Bulwark's still up, and it's ready again. Keep it back up. Cast, and we're down 8 seconds. It's a little difficult when you first start playing with it to make sure that you always cast that Storm skill before your Earth skill. But once you get the hang of it, pretty fun. What I'll do is I'll show you the build now, and then after I show you the build, I'll put some more gameplay of a nightmare dungeon so you can watch it in action. That way nobody can say I didn't show you any gameplay footage. So apologize if that's what y'all like to see. Sometimes I'm used to Diablo 3, nobody wants to watch that, so I'll start including those towards the tail end of the video now. It's actually a pretty simple setup. The hardest aspect you're gonna need is the shockwave. Okay? That's the hardest one. I got it on a 2-hand right now. I am working on a variant that uses the totem and stuff, but it's, you know, farming in this game takes a while, so when I have that, I'll show you. Boots, we're doing damage from earth skills, slow enemies hit by 25, so that's every time we hit with an earth skill, we're applying a CC, crowd control. Your pants right here are going to have the Mending Stone. Duration of Earthen Bulwark is increased by 6 seconds. Okay? Like you just seen, we were able to sit here and cast Storm Strike and get our cooldown to the point where we could always have Earthen Bulwark up because of this aspect, 6 seconds. So make sure you have that. On your gloves, we're taking Pulverize, is now an earth skill, and then it shoots them spikes out. You see this damage number, little secret for you. This is in the Codex. The Codex always imprints it higher for some reason. So use that to your advantage right now. Use it from the Codex. You also see I've got +4 ranks of Tornado and +4 ranks of Pulverize. So there is a little variant that I was playing with where you can cast Tornadoes as well with this. It's not ready, okay? It's going to require a little bit more work than I'm ready to show you yet. But that's why you're seeing that. Regular chest piece, legendary. When the Nature's Fury key passive triggers a free skill, your non-ultimate cooldowns of the opposite type are reduced. Yeah, that's what you want. You really want to get this 8 seconds if you can, but that's what you're seeing. Every time I proc a skill, a free skill, it reduces my cooldown. So that's how you're able to keep up Earthen Bulwark a lot. That's how you're able to do Trample a lot. That's how you're able to do it from this aspect right here. You don't necessarily have to have it if you want to put something else there, but highly recommend it. This one you have to have. Okay, it's your disobedience aspect. Gain 0.4. You really want 0.45 or more here, but it's all I got. Gain 0.4% increased armor for 5 seconds. Stacks up to 40%, dealing any form of damage. So that's where our Lightning Storm comes into play. When you proc that thing, it'll just help you get more armor. It's just free, okay? It also does damage to them, obviously, but it's free. On your amulet here, we're taking Trampled Earth. That's your trample, kind of your trample slide aspect. This one's maxed out 120%. It also makes trample nature magic and an earth skill. So, as you see, Pulverize is nature magic. Trample's nature magic. That's what we want. On your rings, we need earth skills, deal 30%, 40% more critical strike damage to crowd control. Everything we're doing is crowd controlling. So that's just natural that we do that. I know some builds are taking a Fortify. So you can try that if you wish. I'm a big advocate of play your own way and experiment with things. You don't have to take what I say as the absolute truth. And this is probably the hardest piece to find. So this is where it'll get tricky. If you don't have this, then you do need a unique Mother's Embrace, or you need something similar to keep your spirit up. But I finally found it. I found this bad boy day 3 at a 4 roll and salvaged it. Because I was sleep deprived in zombie mode, and I said, this is garbage, I don't need it. RNG Jesus did not let me find this until like 2 days ago, or maybe yesterday, actually. That's how long it's been. I played every single day. So, you're going to need this. If you don't have it, yeah, Mother's Embrace. That's the best thing I can tell you. At least have a 2 roll, something to give you something back, okay? It's real basic to put together, nothing crazy. The spirit boons, we're taking the Wariness Deer right here. We're taking more critical strike damage for the Burr. We're taking Energize for the Wolf. Dealing damage has a 15% chance to restore 10 spirit. So again, all about that lightning. We want that lightning to proc as much as we can get it to, and then try to deal as much damage and get spirit back. And Again, just a reason for the lightning, just to help us out. It's just more help. And then we're gonna take our dual one on the snake down here. So we're taking overload. Dealing lightning damage has up to 20% chance to cause the target to emit static discharge. We just, again, want more lightning and more lightning and more lightning and more lightning. Okay, I'll show you on the skill tree why. And then this last one here, masochistic. Critical strikes with shapeshift and heal you. So we're using shapeshift and pulverize. We're using shapeshifting from trample. Our two main damage dealers. Okay. Let's look at the skill tree. It's a little janky, so be prepared. Okay. Basic skill, we're taking Storm Strike. 2 reasons. It's a storm skill, and it gives us 25% damage reduction, or DR. From here, henceforth, a lot of y'all ask me what I mean by DR. Damage reduction or reduced damage is DR. So one into this, one into the middle one. Okay, that's it. We're not really only thing we're doing with this is casting it. Okay. If you don't care about the DR, you feel pretty strong, you can actually come in here and take Wind Shear, and then come back and actually hit the Fierce, and that'll give you more move speed. And you can actually stand back and proc this and get more move speed. Totally up to you. I play with both ways. I like the damage reduction myself. Come down into your core area. Sink everything into pulverize. Take the middle splitter. Take the bottom one. Bottom one's reduced damage. More DR. Hog like E. Heart of the Wild. 3 into wild impulses. More damage. Okay. 1 into predatory instinct. We're not maxing this out because everything we're dealing is distant damage. Okay, close is within melee range. Distant is outside of melee range. Always know that. We do want 3 into Iron Fur though, because a lot of the times we're in werebear form, and we want that to be a damage reduction to apply and last 3 seconds after. Remember, every time that you cast, or every time that you're going to do damage, you're casting Storm Strike. Storm Strike, pulverize. Storm Strike, pulverize. So you're going human, bear, human, bear. So you're always getting this Iron Fur, and it's lasting 3 seconds afterward. Earthen Bulwark for a defensive skill. Take the middle one, take the top right. Okay, it's going to give us more fortified. This is one of our forms of unstoppable, our sources of unstoppable. We are going to get to keep this up almost indefinitely. Come down here and take Debilitating Roar. This is Hawg's favorite skill. Gives you 70% reduced damage. Or the enemies deal 70% reduced damage. Enhanced Debilitating Roar. We got Fortify coming from that. And we got Slow from the bottom left. Innate. Just applying more slow. Everything revolves around slow, slow, slow. Nature's Reach. 3 into this. Because we are a distant build, we want deal 9% increased damage to distant enemies. This is a multiplier. Double this bonus if they're slowed, stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. Think about that for a minute. Now we come down here. What did this say? Slowed, stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. Well, we're applying slow to everything. Now we're going to bring some knockback and some immobilize. Okay? Source of knockback is trample. Okay? It's another source of unstoppable. Take the middle. Trample deals 150% bonus damage. Okay? Bonus is reduced by 50% for each enemy hit after the first. And take the bottom one to give you some more spirit. Now we're going to invest heavily into lightning. No, you hadn't seen any lightning yet. You're going to see it at the end. I'll show you why. 1 into elemental exposure. 1 into charge atmosphere. 3 into electric shock. 3 into bad omen. Okay, so we're doing this so storm skills have a chance to make enemies vulnerable. Okay, a lot of this is on lucky hit. It's okay. Every 18 seconds, a lightning bolt comes down. This is just a path. We got to take this one. Electric shock, lucky hit, dealing lightning damage to enemies has a 15% chance to immobilize them for 3 seconds. If the target is already immobilized, the lightning damage dealt to them is increased by 18%. Okay? And then bad omen. It's a lucky hit. Up to 30% chance when dealing damage to a vulnerable, immobilized, or stunned enemy that a lightning bolt also hits. dealing 4,000 to 5,000%, or not percent, but damage. So what that means is, because of all the extra stuff in our build, we're always making stuff vulnerable the first time we deal damage to it. So up to a 30% chance when dealing damage to a vulnerable enemy, a lightning bolt also hits, dealing 5,700 more damage. We're going to get that a pretty good bit, right? That piggybacks off electric shock. If it comes down and hits and immobilizes them, and then we hit them again like a boss, you're going to see what we're trying to get at. Okay? You stack your lucky hit up a lot, which is hard to do, but if you get a lot of lucky hit, you can start really reaping the benefits of this build. So it's just extra damage for free. Okay? For free! Do sync 3 into Crushing Earth, 1 into Safeguard, 2 into Stone Guard. It's just to give you some extra Fortify and give you some more damage. This is 15% multiplied damage. When you're fortified over 50% of your max life, your Earth skills deal 8% increased damage. This one, every time you crit strike, you get Fortify. So these are just no-brainers here. Alright, and then this is where stuff gets pretty interesting. Notice, no ultimate skill. Don't need it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we want to do smooth damage. We don't want to have bursts of damage. We want to be able to do dependable, reliable damage, even if it means it's not 3 million crits and then waiting 30 seconds for more. Alright, so we're going to play with basically the nature magic passives here, okay? 3 in Defiance, 3 into Natural Disaster, 3 into Resonance. Resonance is the big one. Nature Magic skills deal 6% multiplied, increased damage. Triple this bonus if an Earth skill is the next skill cast after a Storm skill or vice versa. So what this means is, when we cast a Storm skill, it primes that Earth skill to do 18% more damage multiplied. That's why we're always doing Storm Strike, Pulverize. Because every time, if we get in a pattern like that, every time they've got 18% more damage behind it, even the Storm Strike. So it's just something to think about. That's where we're getting a lot of our reliable damage from. Okay? Sink 1 into Quick Shift, 1 into Natural Fortitude. We are shape-shifting, and we are moving a lot and transforming into a different form. So you can actually, if you want to like take 1 out of this and put it in here, you can play with it like that. Really up to you. Okay? The important one that makes everything work is Nature's Fury. Oh yeah, real quick, sync 2 into defensive posture just gives you more fortify. I don't know if I can't recall if I talked about it. Nature's Fury key passive, this is the big one. Cast an Earth skill has a 30% chance to trigger a free Storm skill of the same category or vice versa. So this is what's allowing us to activate Lightning. Every time we Pulverize, we have a 30% chance to proc a Storm skill of the same category. It's not going to proc Wolf. Technically, it's an Earth skill right now. It's going to proc one of these 2 Lightning Storm. It's either going to be Lightning or it's going to be Tornado. So one of the variants is playing Tornado. You can actually have 2 core skills. Cast Tornado, then cast Pulverize. Then cast Tornado, then cast Pulverize. That's a lot of fun. If you cast Tornado, it can actually proc a free Landslide. So I've played with multiple different ways. I've played with it with Landslide, trying to get Terra motes and stuff like that. I've done a lot of different stuff, trying to do kind of a Trample Slide variant. There's a bunch of different stuff you can play with, to be honest with you. You've got the points to invest, and you got the gear, and you got time and money or whatever, you can sink it in a Tornado and try to go that route. The biggest obstacle I'm having right now is with Paragon. I have not completed all my renown. That's like going to get a root canal. I really don't want to do all that. And that will give me 20 more points that I can play with. Okay. So speaking of Paragon, just going to glance over it with you. I'm not 100% set on this. I keep changing it up. I'm about to run out of gold because I keep messing with it. I had a theory to try to stack as much stuff on a select amount of glyphs as possible. So I keep jumping back and forth, trying to see, is it better to have as many boards as you can, or is it better to sink a bunch of points into a couple boards? I don't know, okay? First board, I'm taking all the life and damage. I put my exploit here, and I stacked up as much dex as I could around so we could get almost 25% vulnerable damage. Okay, and this allows us to apply vulnerability every time we damage an enemy every 20 seconds. Well, I shouldn't say every time. The first time you damage an enemy, and then 20 seconds after that, you can do it again. Next board you take, Earth and Devastation. I just went straight up and grabbed it and took almost all of the rare nodes except for these up here. I took the Fang and Claw glyph socket. You can play with this. I still haven't 100% decided if this is the best place for it, or so don't take this as the Bible, but I'm just taking stuff for earth skills, critical skills. I'm taking crowd control enemies. I came over here, I attached Inner Beast, and I put Outmatch in there, and I took stuff for critical strike damage, shape shifting, and attack speed. And then the most important one to me is Ancestral Guidance. And the reason I say that is the Spirit on Kill. This stuff here, take these and then take that. After spending 75 Spirit, you deal 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. All right, now I'm going to show you a couple clips. One of these will be with Tornado, so you can see the difference. This one won't have the trample landslides. And then I'll show you another one with the trample landslides. Okay? And then we'll wrap it up. Start this out with a 48 Nightmare Dungeon. Show you what it does a little bit. These are Goat Men, Champions Demise. See the lightning procking, stacking armor, doing a little trample. It's not supposed to be super impressive, y'all. It's not supposed to be anything. It's just a fun little build. Keep in mind. Okay, let's go into Wraiths. Yeah, cool, Hawg. Let's see Wraiths. Of course, there I clicked the damn skill tree as I'm trying to fight. Wraiths are impossible to me because they deplete your resource real bad. This is a tier 40. You see we handle them pretty well. Doing pretty decent damage. Go into another room of them here, and then you can see how well it handles damage. That lightning is just really helping us out. And there's our cooldown proc, and Earth and Bulwark's back up. And this one here will show you the kind of limitations. This is back at Champions Demise at 48. And we're gonna kind of pull a big mob and show you what it can do. It's not real fast, but kind of flirting with the end of the build here. Missed that strike big time there. You see the lightning's coming down, it's giving me armor, which is nice because all this lightning everywhere that the enemy is putting out. And just using trample to kind of clear and stun some enemies there. And that's that. Appreciate y'all for watching. Big shout out to this video sponsor, MMOEXP.com. Visit MMOEXP.com for a good, reliable Diablo 4 service and use code HOG for 5% off. Links in the description below. Anyway, please make sure to hit like and subscribe for more content. If you need a Discord to run with, the House of Hog, we ain't mild, we wild. Links in the description below. We'd love it if you join. We got build guides. We got a community. We're still working on a PvP league. Just got a bunch going on over there. If you need a group to run with, that's a great way to find some people over there. We got voice channels and all kind of good stuff in there, so make sure you go do that. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time.